many modern websites are actually built on single page. They just look like multiple pages, but because they contain multiple components which renders based on the URL, it seems like the website has multiple pages. So, but they actually, and on actual, they are called as single page applications or SPAs. The core behind them is basically the React router, which conditionally renders the separate components and display them based on the URL. So for example, if you are on the home page, so you are on the, let's suppose, on the google.com, and let's suppose if you click an about link, and your link changes from google.com/about, you don't see a refresh of the page. What you see over there is just the you can say a component change over there. That's basically a single page application, and that is what we are going to learn today on how to use React routers to build the single page applications. And to start with, let's just look at the documentation, what we need to do. The first thing is that we need to actually install the React router DOM onto our application. To do that, we are going to use npm install React router dash doom, and let's just actually do that. So for doing that, I'm going to actually come out of it, and over here I'm going to write it down. So you can even do it by your command prompt by going into the extension. Let's suppose my directory is dtest my app, and I'm going to type in over here npm install, and just basically copy React router doom, and we'll press enter. For saving my time, I've already installed it, and I can check this by going into the package.json, and here is the React router DOM. In case you are using Code Sandbox, you can actually go in and just use the dependencies section and search over here React router DOM, and can just add it from over here. So let's just try and do it. Okay, so when we do that, over here you see the version is present. If we try and compare, it's the same version, and you can even check whether package.json has that particular module included or not. So that's included now. Coming back to how we can learn this, so let's just go through the documentation a bit, and then we'll try and replicate the example first, and then later on we are going to actually you can say we're going to actually like experiment something out. We are going to create a profile sort of a app which will actually display your profile. So let's just first learn via the example, and then later on we are going to implement it over an app. To do that, I'm gonna remove the profile example that I already have tested. So let's just remove this. Let's just create a component, and I'm gonna call this for now profile.js. We'll create a function component, or maybe just for easiness, we'll copy this, right? And we'll first explain you how this is working, and then later on we'll on real time we're going to work on the real project. So let's just okay, export default function profile. It's there on the app.js. We have a profile already. So let's now first see how it looks like. So I'm gonna start. Meanwhile, it's starting. I'm gonna actually explain a bit. There is the four elements you can say which are important over here. One is your browser router, which I've labeled as a router, and then the switch, route, and the link. These are the four elements that are very important. The router or browser router, you actually wrap your complete app under it. So complete divs are wrapped under it. So for example, if it's used in app.js, and if you're using it over here, you're going to use router/router over here. Say, but since I'm using it within the component, so that's the reason I'm writing the router inside the component, not at app.js. Then you have a switch. Switch are used along with the root or routes. Basically, they are over there to routes to the different locations. So, for example, if I click an about link over here, then it will open up the about component, which is present at the bottom. Same goes, for example, if you're going, if you're clicking a user's link, then users path will be routed, and for that contains a users component, and this will get displayed. So here is an example. It's a very raw one, but you can understand. I mean, it will help you understand the concept. So we had three links: home, about, and users. So home, about, and users. So as we click, there is no refresh, as you can see, and you should notice one more thing, which is these URLs. They are also changing. So about, users, and home. So based on what you click, the component is changing. So the similar sort of a concept will be used in the profile app. So let's just get started. The first thing that we are going to do it over here is we are going to use the HTML, which will be provided to you. So I'm going to copy the HTML, and we'll for now remove the routers. I don't need them. And we'll also remove the bottom area. Okay. If we now save this and see how it looks, your old settings will all be gone, right? And now we need to import the CSS. So for that, I'm going to create a profile um, .css file, and within it, I'm going to import the my style sheet. Again, this is done just to save your time. You can change the style if you like to. I mean, in the end, I'm going to tell you what are your challenges, and with that, you can actually play around with your profile. Next is importing the profile.css. Now let's see how it looks like after the import. So if we try and okay, minimize it a bit, this is how it looks actually. And over here, if we try and look at, so firstly, obviously, a title, profile, this could be your name. So my name over there, this is my favorite quotation written by me. So obviously I use it. And in case you want to switch it, you can even. And then you have a menus. So the plan is that when we'll click education, education will appear. By default, education is appearing. By when you will click professional experience, then professional experience will appear. When you will click contact, the contact profile could be the LinkedIn profile or a Facebook profile that could appear. So to do that, what we need to do it is, because we are using React Router DOM, we need to first import the React Router DOM over here, which we already have done it. Then the next stuff is to use it. And to use it, firstly, as mentioned, we're going to use a browser router as router over here. And I'm going to wrap my complete elements within it. So first step is done. Then the next step is your switch and the routes. So firstly, let's play with the link, and then we will talk about the switch and the routes. So I'm gonna links are like anchor links actually. So you use them because they just are helpful, and you will be able to like I mean, it's sort of a requirement, you can say, and you'll be able to easily route to different locations via it. So location to, and over here we can say slashes for, let's suppose, by default location. So for example, if it's shazephan.com, then automatically this is the one which will be used. Next is, if in case I want to have professional experience, so I may call it professional. And then the last one is the contact. Okay, so let's just wrap it with the link. So this is almost done. Now you should see the link appearing. So if I actually hover over, you can see these are the links. But when I click, the URLs may be changing. So you can already see that the URLs are changing, and but nothing is happening over here. So this is where we are going to use switch and the roots. So firstly, I'm going to actually take away this, right? And then we'll try and implement the switches in route. Again, you can refer this documentation. So in case you get stuck, you can just copy this, and I am going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to copy this as a reference, and we'll try and play with it. Okay, so we don't have a router, we don't have a div. Just to save my time, I'm going to do this. And for now, I'm going to copy paste different, uh, you can say different parts over here. So firstly, it was slash, it was by default my profile, then it was professional, and the last one was the contact. Okay, so logically, the way the code is written, it should work. But if you try and see, I mean, it's not working. There is a reason behind it, is that even this URL slash professional, when clicked, though it's changing, but it still have a slash, and it is being rendered by this particular, I mean, the slash gets a priority over here, and which is why nothing is changing. So or maybe you must be wondering, okay, let's just make it like this. The text was same, sorry, and I'm gonna make it 1 2 3. So that will make it further more clear. So well, let's suppose if I'm clicking, nothing is happening, though my URLs are changing. And that's because of the priority. Over here, we are going to use one keyword, which is called as exact. That is going to exactly match the URLs. And this way around, we will be able to solve this issue. In the documentation, it's not clearly mentioned, but that's something my responsibility to share with you. Now, let's suppose if when we are clicking education, first screen is appearing. When we are clicking professional experience, second screen is appearing. When we are clicking contact, third screen is third component is actually appearing. But since I'm actually okay, so firstly, let's just complete the profile. Okay, so I'm going to use my LinkedIn, and we'll copy my first paragraph from over here. That could be my introduction. And then later on, I can, so my introduction should appear over here when I click education, or I can call it maybe better is introduction. And let's just call it introduction education. Okay. And I'm changing it a bit. Education and contact. So education. For education, I'm gonna type in what I am: master's flight computing, um, University of Malaya, and like that you can place in your different stuff. For the profile, I can copy this link and can place it over here. LinkedIn and space. I can also link this up a bit at reference, and then okay, and text. Okay, now let's see whether this works or not. So you can already see when I'm clicking the contact, my LinkedIn profile is appearing. When I'm clicking education, what I have written over here is appearing. When I'm clicking the introduction is appearing. Now there is another way that you can even use other components over here. So for example, you are you have a separate component, for example, for education. So we can create one component, call it education.js, and React function component, call it education, and I'm gonna type in like education. Okay, And the next stuff is I'm going to get this information from over here to the insights. So profile, we'll get this out from over here. We'll use it within this. So that I'm using over here. And now what I'm going to do it is I'm going to actually use this education component and call it. So import slash education. Okay, import education from. Okay, so let's just do that and use the education components inside over here. So now let's check whether this works or not. Okay, this is working. So let's go and change something out over there. Okay, let's just change this. Okay. Okay, it's changing. So this is how simple it is to actually, you can say, create a sort of profile or a website using React Router DOM. And you can already see this was like a single page application where I'm not reloading everything within a single click. I'm changing certain sections, and it was way too simple. So now your challenge is to create this first single page application, use the React Router DOM, and then within these sections, so I have my introduction, education, contact, add over here a professional experience, and over there you can write it down like a front end developer at interns.pk. So that's something over there. So rather than my introduction, you should have your introduction written. Rather than my name, you should have your name. In the education, you should write it down your education. In the contact, you should place in your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn URLs, and in there should be another menu. It should be called as professional experience, and over there you should mention your experience at interns Pakistan, and that's how you need to do it. And hopefully, I look forward for your solutions. You need to submit this using code sandbox links. Thank you.